Hey, you guys. So everything we did last section had to do, of course, with right triangles, and we worked with the legs, the hypotenuse, and we talked about the Pythagorean theorem. Okay? Today, this whole chapter is about right triangles. Today, we're talking about special right triangles. There's two special right triangles. We're going to discuss the 45, 45, 90. So that is an isosceles right triangle. And then we're going to talk about the 30, 60, 90. Every right triangle, the Pythagorean theorem is true, and the relationships is like the length of the hypotenuse squared equals the length of the leg squared plus the length of the leg squared. Okay, that is true for all right triangles. Today, these are right triangles that have 45, 45, 90 degree angles and 30, 60, 90. So they're just two special ones, and the relationship between the sides, this is still true, but there's also a more specific relationship. That's just cool. Okay, before we start, I want to talk this. We're going to talk about how do you know which is a long, medium, and short side and why. Last chapter, we talked about the lengths of the sides of a triangle. If I look at the longest side and say this is 10 long, that means 10 from vertex to vertex. If this is 8 long and this side is 1 long, a triangle is not possible, okay? Always in a right triangle, 2 sides have to be longer than the third side, all the way around. So 8 plus 10 longer than 1. 10 and 11 longer than 8. 8 plus 1 has to be longer than 10. So this would not even make a triangle. Any 2 sides must be longer than the third side. Okay, so I just wanted to refresh us on that. So I'm going to go ahead, and if you just compare the long side, is 8 plus 1 longer than 10? And no, it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a 7. Okay? 7 plus 8 is longer than 10. This triangle is possible. Now let's go back even further. This is the very shortest side. This is the very longest side. And this length is medium. 10 is the longest side. 7 is shortest. 8 is medium. When you do that, if you remember the angle opposite within one triangle, this would have to be the largest angle. Since this side is the shortest, the opposite angle would have to be the smallest angle. And then this angle here would be your medium. It's always the angle opposite. Okay, so when we do this, always look. Long side is opposite. Long side is opposite. And it also goes the opposite way. If this is a large angle, this is the long side. If this is a medium angle, this is the medium side. If this is the smallest angle, this is the shortest side. So the long side is always opposite the largest angle. Medium side opposite the medium angle. Short side is opposite the smallest angle. Okay, always true, always true. Okay, so with that, let's talk about it again. We're going to talk 45, 45. This is an isosceles triangle. If I drew it this way, you could see it more easily. This is my 90-degree angle. And if this is 45 and 45, that means these two angles are equal, making it an isosceles triangle. which means the base angles are equal. This is base, right? If we're talking isosceles triangles. And then these two sides would be equal. This side here is also called the hypotenuse. Remember also, the box sits on the legs. These are your legs. The box sits on the legs. The longest side is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always opposite 90. So when I look at this one, this is my hypotenuse. And again, this box sits on the legs. So this is a leg, this is the legs. The two legs together form the right angle. Okay, 45, 45 means that these two legs are going to be equal because it's isosceles. The length of the hypotenuse is square root of 2 times that short leg. It's equal to the leg times the square root of 2. That's all you do. That's the only relationship that you have. The hypotenuse equals the length of the leg times the square root of 2. So over here, oh sorry, I blurred this. This says n squared of 3. That's what that says. Okay, before we do it, let's talk about things again. This is a leg. This is a leg. Okay? The box, remember, points to or sits on the legs. The two sides that form the right angles are the legs. This is a hypotenuse. Okay? When it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, okay, opposite of 30, this is the short leg because it's opposite of the smallest angle. That's always your short leg. We know both of these are legs. The one opposite of 30 is short. Okay, this is my other leg, so it must be the longer of the two legs. I'm just going to say long leg. And this length here is hypotenuse. So if I want to know the length of the long leg, I take the short leg and I multiply it by the square root of 3. So the long leg equals the short leg, whatever that length is, times the square root of 3. The length of the hypotenuse is just the short leg times 2. Okay, this is it. That's the only 3 things for the whole section. That's all we do. So let's do a problem here. If I tell you this, I'm going to keep it in the same orientation just to keep it simple first, that the short leg is 5 long. And I ask you to find the length of the hypotenuse and find the length of the long leg. That's what I'm doing. So when you do these, I'm trying to grab something right. Just like when we did the right triangles, I always wrote in leg, leg, hypotenuse. I'm going to do that with a 30, 60, 90 and with a 45, 45, 90. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and write opposite of 30. Okay? This is my short leg. Short leg. Opposite of 60, because remember the box points to 2 legs. I know these are my legs. Opposite of 60 is the long leg. And then opposite of 90, the hypotenuse. Okay, so I've got all my letters there. So my long leg here, right, which is Y, equals my short leg, right? Look at it. Long leg equals the short leg times the square root of 3. So long leg equals short leg times the square root of 3. So my long leg, we're calling it Y. My short leg is 5 times the square root of 3. And that is your answer. You can leave it like that. If you want to punch it on the calculator, you can. So I'm going to go 5, okay, 5 times, and I'm going to do the x squared button here. Here's x squared. And if I look above it, I've got my square root function. To make that square root function work, I have to hit second, square key, and then the 3. So that's giving me 5 asterisk means multiply 5 times the square root of 3. I don't have to close parentheses, I can. And I get 8.66 for my answer. Okay, that's like a basic how you do it. We'll do more of them in practice. If I do a practice for the 45, 45, 90, okay, I'm going to do that. Let's just use this one here. This is my leg, my hypotenuse. I tell you the leg is 10 long, and I ask you what is the length of the hypotenuse. Now you can go leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. You know both sides are 10 because in a 45, 45, 90, this is an isosceles right triangle, so the legs are equal lengths. And then the hypotenuse is equal to the leg times the square root of 2. So that's equal to my leg is, 2. So my leg is 10. 10 times the square root of 2 that's the length of the hypotenuse. That's all you have to do. H equals 10 times the square root of 2. Again, you could punch it in your calculator if you want a decimal answer. So we go 10 times second square root 2, and I get 14.14. Okay? So let's try a couple problems. That's all it is for this section, these two things. It can be tricky though, okay? 45, so this is 45, 45, 45, 90, leg, and I know it's isosceles, so my two legs are equal length, and my hypotenuse is equal to my leg times, look up here, square root of 2. So this is 2 for this leg, so this leg has to be 2. Hypotenuse is my short leg times the square root of 2. Or just my leg times the square root of 2. So A equals 2 square root of 2. That's it. That's good enough. If you want to do the calculator, you can. You don't have to. Again, 45, 90, so this is 45. 45 and 45 is 90. 90 plus 90, the golden rule is 180. So this is a leg, this is a leg, this is my hypotenuse. I know in a 45, 45, it's an isosceles triangle, and the legs are equal. So y equals 6. Oh, I should have done better, huh? B equals 2, A equals 2 square root of 2. Okay, here y equals 6, and x is equal to, again, hypotenuse equals the leg times the square root of 2, so 6 times the square root of 2. Okay, now it's going to get harder. This is your leg, 45, 45, right? So it's an isosceles right triangle. So the two legs are equal length, and the hypotenuse is equal to the leg times the square root of 2. So this time I don't know, okay, my hypotenuse, this is H, this is leg, this is leg. So I'm going to circle this. H is 3 square root of 2. H equals 3 times the square root of 2. So instead of an H here, we're going to write 3 times the square root of 2 equals my leg times the square root of 2, right? We're dividing by the square root of 2. So your leg is equal to 3. Now some of you might just look at that and go, this is leg times the square root of 2, and you could just see the leg is 3, which is absolutely fine. Okay, so the leg is 3, so that means this side here is 3 long, this is 3 long. If I did Pythagorean theorem, I'd go like x squared, make them both x's, x squared plus x squared equals this squared, and you could solve, and you're going to get 3. Okay, so your x equals 3, your y equals 3. Okay, now we're going to do a hard one. This one's harder. Okay, and again, it's about labeling the sides. Everything's about the sides. So 90 and 45, so this has to be 45. Okay, so box points to, sits on the legs, leg, leg. I know these are equal lengths. It's an isosceles right triangle. The hypotenuse is this one, right? Hypotenuse equals the leg times the square root of 2. This time, my hypotenuse is 6 long. So instead of an h here, I'm putting my 6 right here. That's where the 6 is. So 6 equals L times the square root of 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by the square root of 2. L equals 6 divided by the square root of 2. In the old days, we'd go, let me move it up here, we'd rationalize the denominator and we get 6 square root of 2 over 2, which is 3 square root of 2. We're not doing that. You could just punch this in your calculator just like this. So this says 6 divided by square root of 2. Second square root 2 equals 4.24. So that means your N and your M are both equal, right? So your leg is equal to 4.24. Okay? So M, that's this leg, is equal to 4.24. N is equal to the length of the other leg, and it's an isosceles, so they're both the same. Okay. So that should take care of 5 and 6, same logic. I'm going to jump to the back. We'll do 30, 60, 90s. So we know the golden rule is 180. I've used up 90. So I have 90 degrees left. I've used up 30. So I have 60 degrees here. That gives me my 30, 60, 90 triangle. Now this time it is not isosceles because there's no, like when it was an isosceles, I had two base angles that were both 45. This time it's not. I've got 30, 60, 90. So opposite of 30 is my short leg. Opposite is 60. And again, the box sits on the leg. So I know these are both legs. This is a leg. This one's a leg. The box sits on the legs. The sides of the right angle are the legs. Okay, opposite of 60 is a long leg. And then opposite of 90 is my hypotenuse. Okay? Now I'm going to look back. Look at my chart. The long leg equals the short leg times the square root of 3. Long leg equals short leg times the square root of 3. It's my one equation. My short leg is 2. So this 2 goes right on top of here. That's my short leg, 2. Long leg equals 2 times the square root of 3. Done. My long leg is my y. Got one of them. Hypotenuse, right? So let's look at our chart. Hypotenuse is a short leg times 2. That's it. Short leg times 2. That's all I got to do. So my hypotenuse equals 2 times the short leg, which is 2 times my short leg is a 2, so 4. Your hypotenuse is 4 long. Your hypotenuse is also your variable x that we're looking for. Okay. Now look at this one. 90, 60, so this angle has to be 30. Opposite, these are my two legs, right? Leg, leg. Opposite of 30 is my short leg. Opposite of 60 is my long leg. And this is my hypotenuse. Opposite of 90, longest side is always the hypotenuse. So in this one again, we're doing the two, all you have are two equations. Look what they are. Long leg equals short leg times the square root of 3. Hypotenuse equals short leg times 2. That is it. Okay, hypotenuse is twice. You also can see them this way if you like it better. 2n, n, and n square root of 3. Okay? So hypotenuse is 2 times the short leg. My short leg is N, my hypotenuse is M. I'm not going to do that one first because I have 2 variables, won't help me. My long leg equals my short leg times the square root of 3. Well, my long leg is 5 square root of 3. I'm going to circle these together. Long leg is 5 square root of 3. So where it says long leg, I'm putting in its place 5 square root of 3. I'm replacing. So 5 square root of 3 equals my short leg times the square root of 3. I want my short leg by itself. Divide by square root of 3. Short leg equals 5. So that means this side's 5. Your N equals 5. And then your long leg, your hypotenuse, right, M, is 2 times the short leg. So my hypotenuse equals 2 times 5 equals 10. So that's your M. So N equals 5, M equals 10. Okay? Try those, see what you can do. It's kind of tricky. Okay? These are just more of the same things. Okay, written out. This one here is a little bit of a story problem. It says, how high is the end of a 38-foot ramp when the tipping angle is 30? So this is my angle right here is 30. And it says, how high is this right here? How high is it? Height. Okay, so I'm trying to find out what is the length of that side. Okay. And it tells you it's a 38-foot ramp, so that's how far the ramp is, 38 feet. If I'm going to take a car and go up this ramp, right, I'm going up 38 feet. So when you're doing this one, this is your short leg, this is your hypotenuse, and my equation is the hypotenuse equals the short leg times, right, 2. So think about what that is. Fill in, we know how long the hypotenuse is, 38. Fill it in. Solve for the short leg. What is that length? Okay, there you go. Good luck, you guys.